Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are going to work on some tree stakes. So I have 3 giant oak logs over there that are 5 foot, and so I'm going to put those on, cut them down to 2x2 stakes. It is supposed to rain later this afternoon, so we're up here this morning. Hopefully we're going to try to get something done, but it rained earlier, and everything is just still soaking wet from the freeze, from the snow. Now it's like 70 degrees out here. I'm in short sleeves. It's actually pretty nice. So we're going to try to get some milling done. Before we get going, I got to address a comment that I got this morning. It gave me a chuckle, but this guy has never watched any of our previous videos, and he's, to say it nicely, it's just ignorance, pretty much. So I'm gonna try to do this as nicely and as respectfully as I can. Well, let me read his comment. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's pretty long. Anthony Bernstein, 9698. He says, "This lady certainly works hard at the mill. I wonder if he lets," or he meaning me, "lets her drive the tractor." So I'm gonna break this down as he goes through his little rant. Yes, I let her drive the tractor. I've taught her how to drive the tractor. She does not want to drive the tractor. It's too big for her. She's not interested in wrecking a $70,000 piece of equipment, and nor does she want to be responsible. Her words, not mine. She's camera shy, so I tried to get her up here to explain that, but she will reply and comment, but she does not like being on video. So yeah, there's that. He always says I, not we. It's a family business. In my business, it's always we. Okay, so yes and no. I have my business, we have a business, and then she has her own business. The milling is my business. She helps me work it. The cleaning part, my day and night, or my nightly job, is I do floor restoration. That is our business, and I always say we. And then she has her business, and it's her business, and she always says mine. So, I mean, if you only have one business, then say we. Or if you have your business, say I. Or if she has, or someone has their own business, just say there. I really don't. I mean, that makes no sense on how and why, how I describe the milling. So there's that. Then he goes on to say, why are woodworkers so wasteful with their byproducts of trees? Their yards always a mess, never control their work environment, sawdust and wood piles up all over the place. I'm gonna stop right there. If you have never used a sawmill, you can't control every single sawdust. So I'm gonna flip you guys around. You can see down here. I mean, most of you guys already know this because you've watched my previous. But this is directed at Anthony. So I stand right there. Sawdust flies over my head, up in the air, all the way back there, goes all the way out over there. In a perfect world, you can have shrouds and screens and barricades to stop all the sawdust, but all that sawdust would eventually end up on top of me. We do save our sawdust. The sawdust that comes off of the blade gets sucked through that tube and goes into that building. You know what? Let's take a walk. And then you can also see all the sawdust that gets collected under here. What we do is we shovel that out into the pit when it builds up. And then all that's just waste. I mean, how are you gonna use that, you know, for make profit off of that? And I'll circle back to that. But all of the sawdust that we collect, it gets piled up in this building right here. All right, and that is a lot of sawdust. And what we do is we sell that sawdust to horse farms and use as bedding. So a byproduct that we utilize. Another byproduct that we utilize is all the scraps, pieces. So the bark that falls off, you see there's bark down there, there's bark over here. Bark down here. You know where that goes? That goes all the way over to that big old pile over there. So let's take a walk. Everything is thawing out here. It's just so muddy. And it doesn't help that the ground is frozen, so the water can't seep into the ground. This wood right here is going to be utilized. That's cedar. That's walnut. This is going to be eventually turned into firewood when I get time to split it. This whole pile is nothing but broken down bark, sawdust, and any other byproduct that comes off of the mill that we can't either burn or sell. Another byproduct is slab wood, and we try to sell most of our slab wood, but it all gets piled up over here, right here. This stuff has been sitting here for about 2 years, and slab wood does not sell as fast as firewood does. Nobody wants slab wood. So what we do to help keep us warm when it's 20 degrees outside and we have an order to fill is we put it in the burn barrel. So let's walk back over to the mill. This slab wood right here, we cut this up and we use that in our boiler, and that gives that heats our hot water, gives us hot water. This over here, it's not even worth putting in the boiler or worth cutting up. There are also some cut-offs from logs. The tree company cuts, they don't really cut them at like 8'6" or 10'6" or, you know, lengths like that. They'll cut it off at a 9 foot or 9'5" or 9'10". You know, I can't use that 16, 18, 20 inch pieces. Nobody wants a 9 foot board. So I cut the ends off to make it an 8'6" log, and then the rest come over here. I split it, and then when it's cold, we throw it in the burn barrel, and it keeps us warm. So yeah, there's that. And you know, he talks about my work area being, let me find that comment. Never control their working environment. You don't see chunks of logs sitting everywhere and where I walk or stand. That's all clean. You don't see any major obstructions here in the path that we walk. So this is actually a really clean environment. There's very little to no tripping hazards. We rake everything up and we blow everything down when it's not soaking wet. So yeah, he I don't know what kind of industry he's in, but he has very little clue on what he's talking about. So I'm gonna put you guys back in the tripod, and it's starting to rain here. So I'm gonna try to speed this up so we can get some milling done. Let's see. Sawdust, wood pile. Oh, you know, I forgot while I was over there. I forgot to show you that wood pile over there. But you can see it from here. It's behind me. You know, it's back. Whoop, there it is. All that stuff over there, that's trash wood. It's logs full of knots. It's too short to go in the mill, and it's trash that you can't even put through a log splitter because nobody really buys that kind of wood. So what's happening over there is it's breaking down. The Mother Nature is it's doing its job. It's breaking the wood down, and then what I'll do is when it comes time that I need that space, I'll move it. I'll rake everything up and I'll throw it over in that pile over there and use it for compost for the garden. So the byproducts we try to use everything here. The branches, well, we don't deal with branches because we have a tree company that drops the logs off. So they chip everything and they still dump it here, and then we also use the wood chips in the garden. All right, back to his comment. Farmers who rear cattle and chicken do not waste anything. Even the poo is collected and sold. Everything is used or sold. The whole of the animal has value. The minute it goes into the process begins, and the only thing not sold is the moo or the crackle. Bless you.
Thank you.
And then he keeps going. It just goes on. Tree people. Hang on, I skipped a part. I think it's because the farmers buy their animals, feed and care for them. They have massive investments. Tree people buy a farm, chop down a 50-year-old tree, and have no other interaction with the tree. Apart from the initial investment of land, they have no input into raising the tree. The sun, wind, and rain are all free. The tree just grows. From the moment the tree is cut, there is waste. Trees are cut for the lumber, and what's over is usually burnt, not used for mulch. The sawmill produces sawdust and is not properly controlled when the tree is milled. All this is wasted. It's a shame the tree is not entirely used. Ignorance and arrogance for the comment that this guy wrote. I mean, there's really no other way to sum it up. Again, that goes back to the last part. A controlled environment. I don't care who you are or what sawmill you have. Sawdust goes everywhere. Wind blows, sawdust gets blown everywhere. Even if we were in a completely climate controlled environment, sawdust goes everywhere. I mean, even woodworkers use their circular saws or table saws, even with the sawdust collectors that they got. You know, ask a woodworker how many times he has to sweep his floor to get all the excess sawdust that the sawdust collector doesn't get. And use the entire log. I mean, what else is there to use? We don't burn everything. We use the sawdust, like I previously explained. So yeah, this guy, it made me laugh. This guy's ignorance. He needs to go back and watch some of my previous videos where I show selling the sawdust. There's one video where I showed me loading a truck up with sawdust. And yeah, I think that's all I gotta say about that. Maybe before you write something or type something, you might want to actually have some experience and know what you're talking about before you sound like a moron. So, but let's get a log. Let's pull an oak log out of the pile and scan it, and I'm gonna put it up on the carriage, and we're gonna get milling. Hopefully in the next few minutes. So yeah, stick around. All right, we have our first log on the mill. The small end is 23 inches. The wide end is 36 inches. So we got a huge taper on it. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna trim away at it until we get 1.5 inch boards out of it. And then we're going to throw those boards back on, and then we're going to edge them down to 1.5 inch square. So I need to put fuel in the blower, sawdust blower. I need to check oil in the engine. So let me go and do that, and then I'll be right back. we got 96 stakes, or 2x2s out of those 2 logs. Some of them were, the centers were kind of iffy, so a few of them broke. But we're gonna get those, not today obviously because it's starting to rain. So we need to put the pencil point on these and then stick them over with the rest over there. But for that Anthony guy, this is the sawdust pit. This was actually full by the end of the day into my milling, and you can see where I took my shovel and I got most of the sawdust from around the track, and I took the shovel and I scooped out from up underneath there. I brushed all the sawdust off here and a little bit, but that every time I mill it just gets covered. So but the wind and everything that blows, it all blows it back down under the husk. I shovel it, so eventually it all will get used. The only stuff that doesn't get used is the stuff that overshoots, you know, back over here. I'm not gonna, yeah, and yeah, and Judy just said that when we blow all this into a pile, she uses it in her garden. So everything does eventually get used. But perhaps you need to spend a little more time in a woodworking shop and see how much overspray and dust and stuff, it just flies everywhere. It's not like you can control every piece of sawdust or wood chip that comes off of these logs or off of that blade. There's just no way. I don't care who you are, you're not going to get it done. So, but I think that's going to be it for today. It is starting to rain, so I'm going to go inside and relax a little bit before I have to work tonight. So you guys take care.